Have you guys ever done anything in life where you never wanted a promotion at your job, even though you are the best at what you do at your current place of employment? Have you ever done anything in life where you never wanted to be the very best at what you do, number one at what you do? Have you ever woken up and said, I just want mediocrity today? I want to be as average as everybody else today. I don't want what's best for me. I don't want to be the best today. Imagine you're a pro wrestler and you get into the business and you have goals and aspirations and dreams, and you don't want to main event WrestleMania. You don't want to main event All In Texas. You don't want to be the WWE or AEW World Heavyweight Champion. If you are Adam Hangman Page, and if you are Will Ospreay, you don't want to be the AEW World Champion. You don't want to main event All In Texas. You don't want to be the guy. What am I talking about? I got the very latest on a report where neither man wanted to main event All In Texas on July 12th. Wait till you hear this one. Also, two major NXT call-ups, one in Stephanie Vaquer and Jordynne Grace, both going to the main roster. We'll talk about that. And John Laurinaitis cashes in his Money in the Bank contracts. He is now willing to give any evidence that is needed to Janel Grant in the Vince McMahon lawsuit. All this on an explosive off the script for your Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. We'll start with the NXT call-ups. Two top stars from the NXT women's division, Stephanie Vaquer and Jordynne Grace, are reportedly expected for a main roster call-up. This news comes following last night's NXT episode where Stephanie Vaquer shockingly lost the NXT Women's Championship to Jacy Jayne. Yes, Jacy Jayne, the one who's been there forever and now is a substantial downgrade from where the Women's Championship has been in recent reigns. Imagine going from Roxanne to Julia to Stephanie Vaquer to Jacy Jayne. One does not compute with the rest of them, like I'm Charlotte Flair. According to Bodyslam.net, following Stephanie Vaquer's loss, an update on her future indicates both she and Grace are expected to be called up to the main roster. The report further specified Vaquer is slated for Raw, and Grace is expected for Friday Night SmackDown. It is unclear if these main roster moves will be a part of the WWE draft, which has not been confirmed in any sense yet. General managers Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis could directly sign both of them to their respective brands, mirroring the recent arrivals of Roxanne Perez. And most notably here, recently, Julia, who just randomly showed up on Friday Night SmackDown and is now a part of the SmackDown women's division. Vaquer and Grace previously battled for the NXT women's title at NXT Battleground on May 25th. Very, very, very good match. Vaquer previously appeared on Raw in April, challenging Women's World Champion Io Sky, while Grace has made two prior WWE appearances in the Women's Royal Rumble. Evolution is on the horizon. This is what WWE is doing. They are putting their chess pieces on the board, and they're getting Evolution in place to be one of the biggest women's shows, maybe the biggest women's show that they have ever produced. And Vaquer and Jordynne Grace will absolutely be a part of that. I don't know what they will be doing at the show, but one would assume that Stephanie Vaquer could get a rematch with Io Sky, being that both have stated publicly that they would like whatever they did on the Raw after Mania to happen again. And I could see Stephanie Vaquer instantly slotted potentially in the world title program following Money in the Bank. So she is, I would make a bold prediction and say she could be the women's world champion by the end of the year. Honestly, I've already made a bold prediction saying that if there is one woman on the roster that will ever truly main event a WrestleMania, and I mean night one, last match of the night for the championship, it's the last thing that we see before we go home and head into night two, it will be Stephanie Vaquer. Imagine Stephanie versus Rhea, Stephanie versus Io, Stephanie versus Asuka, Stephanie versus Bianca. I mean, there are so many women on that roster. Stephanie versus Lyra, Stephanie versus Bayley, Stephanie versus Becky. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, this is absolutely a tremendous move for the women's division. Adding both of them, it's very difficult to even sit here and say that they don't have the best women's division maybe ever. And that's just truly unbelievable, just with the amount of talent that's in that women's division. Jordynne Grace, nothing to sneeze at as well. She is fucking unbelievable. Both women were so far ahead of what was going on in NXT. It was almost unfair to everybody else down there that they were on the roster every single week on Tuesday. Stephanie's ready, and Jordynne has been ready. They just wanted her to get her feet wet down there, and they're moving her up. Now this makes two huge spots on Tuesday night for Jada Parker to be slotted up. I love her. I think she's great. Sol Ruka, Kalani Jordan, and whoever else is down there. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, all those women down there that were Lola Vice, looking for a bigger spot, getting ready to move on up. That's a great thing for that division. They are busting at the seams down there with talent. So this is an excellent move. And the WWE main roster is getting two S-tier talents imminently. And I can't wait to see what they do on the main roster. Zoey Stark. Zoey Stark underwent surgery. She shared some positive updates with fans, announcing on her Instagram stories today that she is on day one of her comeback following a recent knee surgery. This marks the official start of her rehabilitation process after sustaining an injury during a springboard missile dropkick spot on the May 19th episode of Monday Night Raw. That went wrong. Following the injury, initial backstage reports indicates significant concern with fears of a tear that would require surgery and potentially sideline Zoey for an extended period of time, possibly throughout the remainder of 2025. There's a real possibility that she does not return until WrestleMania season next year. So we will keep an eye on that, but there's no timetable for her return to the ring, and we wish her absolutely a speedy recovery. That was so fucking scary. I never want to hear anybody on television in this sport go through what she went through, man. The shrieks and the cries of terror after that spot. Never want to hear it again, man. That looked awful. One of the worst injuries that I've recently seen. I never want to see that happen again. Wishing her nothing but the best. And hopefully, WWE, when she gets back, I hope that she could be slotted in to what's going on right now, because this is a quick-moving industry. WWE is going to do what they need to do for the business. So when Zoey gets back, I hope that they truly have a spot for her, because she wasn't really doing much before the injury. Sonya Deville got axed. All of Pure Fusion Collective got axed. Shayna got axed. She was on her own. She wasn't doing much before the group formed. She wasn't doing much with the group on TV in whatever TV time they were given. And then after the group was let go, she still wasn't doing much of anything. Hopefully when she gets back, WWE realizes what they have. I remember they loved her in NXT, man. She was pushed so heavily in NXT. I remember her going up against all the big guns down there. And then she got called up and she didn't really do much of anything. So like I said, hopefully speedy recovery. And when she gets back, WWE can slot her into television and get her seamlessly fit in with the rest of this division. Jim Ross. Love Jim Ross. He underwent surgery himself yesterday morning to remove colon cancer. Conrad Thompson shared some positive news on X. Thompson tweeted, "Just heard from Jim Ross and the surgery team. It went well, and they hope to have successfully removed all of his cancer this morning. Please keep Jim in your thoughts and prayers as he begins recovery." This update comes after Ross announced his colon cancer diagnosis on May 15th. Leading up to the surgery, Ross shared his determination to overcome the latest health challenge and his desire to return to the AEW commentary team, including a goal to be at All In Texas in July. Wishing Jim Nothing but the best. Legitimately the greatest of all time. My childhood voice, Jim Ross, one of a select few. My childhood voice, he goes in that select camp of Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, Vince McMahon. No matter how much of an asshole he is, we got news on that coming up. Jesse Ventura, and the list is very small. Howard Finkel, those guys, man, voices of my childhood. So nothing but the best for Jim Ross, and I truly hope we do hear him at All In Texas, man, with his cowboy hat on, loud and proud. Love Jim Ross. AEW. Speaking of AEW, Adam Page and Will Ospreay had a great match at Double or Nothing. The show was too fucking long, which I have documented not only on Monday morning when Jesse and I covered the show, but again last night on Tuesday Night Titans. Very, very, very good discussion. Show was too long. By the time this match went on, it was 11:47 p.m., and by the time the show ended, it was 12:30. Way too fucking long. I don't give a shit what Tony's thinking. It's got to be changed ASAP, and adjustments need to be made. Match was great, though. I didn't give a shit as much as I should because it was too fucking long, but it was a great match nonetheless. Fightful had reported throughout the last number of weeks that AEW and Tony Khan had kept the result of the match solidly under wraps. That's fine. Nobody should know but Tony, Will, and Adam Page. This included to the performers themselves. So they didn't even know until maybe the day of the show. While it's been reported that they found out the day of the show, it was indicated to Fightful by those in the know that it was actually earlier in the weekend that Hangman Page and Will Ospreay found out. I'm sure there was a lot of batting back and forth. Either one of these guys would have been a suitable win and a logical win for this match to go into All In and wrestle Jon Moxley. My heart was set on Page. I got Page. That's who I wanted, but I would not have been surprised if Will Ospreay won this match, and that's exactly who I thought they were going to go with. An interesting element to this story was that Adam Page actually pushed for Will Ospreay to win, while Will Ospreay pushed for Adam Page to win. Those that Fightful spoke to said that Tony Khan was even non-committal throughout the process when talent would ask him who won. If Tony can't make a decision, how is anybody else going to make a decision? It should be the end-all, be-all, Tony Khan. He should already have what he's going to do in mind. 6 weeks before All In, how are you going to be non-committal in choosing the winner that is going to main event your biggest show of the year? I find that to be just unbelievably ridiculous. I don't get it. Non-committal. It's the biggest fucking match of your year. An interesting element that they both pushed for each other to win. I'll get back to that in a second. That's the biggest key point in this story. Those that we spoke to said Tony was non-committal. The feeling backstage was that of shock, as almost everyone believed Will Ospreay would end up winning the match. The match did get increasingly physical, says Fightful, but they were told nothing out of the ordinary, and both men appeared to be fine and healthy after the match. We also heard in the past week that Jon Moxley leaned towards wanting Adam Page to win the match. Now, whether or not that had any bearing on the actual decision being made, Fightful says they don't know. Well, in the same report, they just said Tony Khan was non-committal. So he probably listened to what Jon Moxley wanted and bend the knee to Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's been booking this fucking storyline with grand aspirations that it's going to do great numbers and turn things around for AEW. It's been nothing but a downright fucking embarrassing display for the last 9 months of AEW television that produced one of the worst storylines in the history of the company. He has let Jon Moxley run amok on AEW television, and he hasn't had the wherewithal to put his foot down and say, John, this ain't working. We need to pivot. We need to call an audible. We need to go in a different direction. He's just let Jon Moxley do what he wants to do with no change in sight. So I would not be surprised if John requested Adam Page and Tony Khan said, you know what? Sure, that's a great idea. Let's do it. You guys got history. You guys wrestled 3 times before. Let's do it. Let's make it a 4th. I find that to be ridiculous. I really do. Jon Moxley absolutely had an influence in this decision. As one would expect, the match received incredibly well rave reviews backstage, and we were told the general feeling about the event was overwhelmingly positive, except for the fact that it was too fucking long. This continues to match up with reports that we've gotten from backstage about how good the morale is in the company. It's important to note that while value is always considered and listened to, the decision in booking is Tony Khan's. Ultimately, he wanted Hangman to win, so he did. Yes, because he listened to others. He didn't make a decision on his own. He's got a lot of outside influence that really borns these decisions. Hangman wanted Ospreay to win, and Ospreay wanted Hangman to win. From what I read there, and from what I get, just by reading this report, neither guy wanted to main event All In. Neither guy wanted to main event the biggest show of the year. And clearly, I said this on social media, and the sickos get their vaginas in a fucking bunch, and they don't know how to cope with somebody else's strong, valued opinion on social media. Oh, well, we're looking for loyalty. They put the company first, JD, from NY 206. That's great. That's great. Imagine you wake up in the morning and you're on the verge of a fucking promotion that is going to give your family a much more comfortable life, and you're in competition with somebody else at work, and you know you're better for the job, and you say, you know what, boss man, I think he should get the promotion because I think he's a more valued asset to you. I'll work and continue to work harder, and maybe my time will come when another opportunity makes itself available. Imagine that. Imagine you saying that and not taking what you're being given, not taking what you're being offered. From my point of view, neither one of these guys wanted to main event All In. From my point of view, neither one of these guys should be the world champion. I don't even know why a report like this is going out when literally a week ago, they both made cases for why they should main event All In and why winning the Owen and winning the title back is the most important thing in their fucking world. Yet, somebody leaked this report, and Fightful has to put this out, blowing everything up on television that we legitimately heard 1 week ago, which I said was one of the best promo segments of the year in pro wrestling on Dynamite. Yet I'm the bad guy. Yet I'm the bad guy. Oh, but they're loyal to the company. Imagine having two selfless individuals, JD from NY 206. Two selfless individuals. You've been given the opportunity to be handed the ball during the biggest game of the year, and you don't want it. You don't want it. Imagine Shawn Michaels telling Vince McMahon, hey, you know what? You know what, Vince? Give it to Brett, man. I think Brett deserves it. I think Brett earns it, has earned it. I think he's the guy. Imagine Shawn Michaels going to Brett and saying that. Imagine Austin to The Rock or Rock to Austin. Hey, you know what, Vince? I think we should give it to Stone Cold. No, Vince, I think we should give it to Dwayne. Imagine Triple H giving it to anybody and telling his father-in-law, yeah, you know what, Pops? Just give it to this guy, man. Give it to Goldberg, man. I think the company's going to be great with Goldberg as the world champion. You fucking kidding me? Stone Cold Steve Austin said it best. If you are not in this business to main event WrestleMania, there is no fucking point for you to be in this business. What an awful, awful, awful fucking report. What an awful report. I don't know why this was even decided upon to put out there and posted all over social media. I don't get this. Makes Adam Page and Will Ospreay look like two guys who are afraid to run the company, afraid to take the ball and be the leader that this company needs, because we're certainly not getting it from Tony Khan. He's non-committal and even coming up with a decision on who's going to win this match. They don't have any leadership, clearly, and then these guys don't want the ball to run with, to go into the biggest show of the year. They don't want to be the world champion. They want each other to be the world champion. I don't know, man. I look at them both differently now. How the fuck are you gonna run away from the grind? Honestly, neither one of these guys should be the world champion. If that's the way that they truly feel, give it to MJF and call it a day. MJF I don't know MJF personally. If you give MJF the opportunity to say, yeah, you know what, man, let's give it to this guy over here. You fucking kidding me? MJF would never say that from what we've known about MJF over the last 6 years. Do you want to know why? Because he believes in himself to run the fucking company and be the guy. If you don't want to be the guy, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? I don't get it. How do you look at this as a good thing? There's no leaders here. There are no leaders in this company. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to put my conspiracy theory tinfoil cap on. Maybe both of them said, I don't want to win. Give it to the other guy, because they know exactly what Tony Khan is going to do in Texas. Neither one of these guys wanted it, because either one of these guys going to Texas is slated to lose to Jon Moxley. Neither one of these guys wanted to lay down for Jon Moxley, because they both know this storyline sucks, and everything that they said will be rendered useless when we get to Globe Life Field on July 12th. What a ridiculous way to look at it. It's not them being selfless. It's not them, looking out for the company and wanting what's best for the company. You are given the opportunity. They called upon one of you. You either take it or get the fuck out. The way that I read that is neither guy is confident enough in their ability to lead the company, and they don't want the responsibility. And if you don't want it, the fuck are you doing here, bro? That's all these guys work for, man. They only want Meltzer's fucking praise, and they want those 5-star ratings that Meltzer gives out. The 5-star ratings ain't paying the bills. The 5-star ratings ain't gonna get you into a household fucking name. Championships and money is the reason why you're here. Start creating your legacy when both of these guys are fucking done and not wrestling anymore. What are they going to be remembered for? Meltzer 5-star matches? What an awful way to look at it, man. I wake up every fucking morning wanting to be better than I was the day before. I wake up every day, I hit stream now, wanting to be the best at what I do, and I am. If I wanted to say, you know what, man, I'm gonna be like one of these reaction streamers and make one of the worst fucking decisions of my career and make such lowbrow content that nobody gives a fuck about, some talentless hack like everybody else, I could certainly do that. I could do it. Do I want to do that? Would I ever do that? No, I wouldn't. I want everything that I built, production value, sound, the ambiance, the experience, I want to make it fulfilling for everybody. If I wanted to be like everybody else, I'd sit here and watch a screen and have you guys watch me watching a fucking screen, sitting there eating my fucking ramen noodles. Hey, man. Jacy Jayne won the NXT Women's Championship, man. I think Jacy Jayne is so great, man. I think she deserves it. I think NXT is the greatest show of all time, man. I think this is better than Black and Gold, man. Those fucking marks. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy, man. I don't know. I really don't know. Speaking of crazy, one with this, Janel Grant voluntarily dismisses John Laurinaitis' claims. Unbelievable. Attorneys for Janel Grant have dismissed all claims against John Laurinaitis in her ongoing lawsuit alleging sexual abuse involving WWE and Vince McMahon. In a court filing submitted Wednesday to the U.S. District Court of Connecticut, Grant voluntarily dismissed the case with prejudice as it relates to John Laurinaitis. This means she cannot refile the claims against him. This dismissal applies only to Laurinaitis. Grant is continuing her legal action against WWE and Vince McMahon. The filing reads as follows. Plaintiff Janel Grant hereby stipulates with defendant John Laurinaitis that the above entitled action is voluntarily dismissed with prejudice against defendant John Laurinaitis. For the sake of clarity, plaintiff is not dismissing any claims against any defendant other than Mr. Laurinaitis. Each party shall bear its own costs. The filing states that each party will bear their own legal costs. In a statement to Post Wrestling, Grant's lawyers say that Laurinaitis has agreed to provide evidence for Grant's lawsuit against McMahon and WWE. Brandon Thurston would then later clarify that the statement comes from both Grant and Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis has agreed to cooperate and provide evidence in Janel Grant's lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE. His agreement to a confidential settlement is a pivotal next step towards holding McMahon and WWE accountable and bringing justice to Miss Grant after years of sexual abuse and trafficking. Mr. Laurinaitis looks forward to moving on with his life. We cannot provide any additional details at this time. The case is currently awaiting a ruling on whether it will be sent to private arbitration. Lawyers for the defendants have until June 13 to refile their motion to compel arbitration. Grant's team will have until June 23rd to respond, and a decision will be made thereafter. Earlier this month, a federal judge granted Janel Grant's request to file an amended complaint to include information regarding WWE settlement with the SEC over undisclosed payments, expanded allegations of abuse, the naming of alleged enablers, and efforts to obtain medical records from a doctor she alleges was paid by Vince McMahon. John Laurinaitis has turned more times in this case than the fucking Big Show. I didn't wake up today anticipating John Laurinaitis to pull a fucking mobster move and turn his back on Vince McMahon. I guess it's not really all that wild to even speculate that he would. And so close, we're like a week and a half from Money in the Bank. John Laurinaitis basically took his Money in the Bank briefcase and cashed in on Vince McMahon, and now he's siding with Janel Grant. Listen, June 13th, lawyers for the defendants have until June 13th to refile their motion to compel arbitration, and then Grant's team has until June 23rd. I mean, we're just dragging this shit on and dragging this shit. I can't wait for this shit to be over and hopefully lock this fucker up. Honestly, this is a circus. It's a clown show. So I'm hoping that we come to some sort of justice here. And John Laurinaitis is now on Janel Grant's side, willing to give her whatever evidence that she needs to get Vince McMahon where he needs to be. I don't know. How you guys feel about that? Are you shocked that John Laurinaitis pulled a fast one and cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase today on Vince McMahon? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section of this very video. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys live tonight for AEW Dynamite and the Fallout show from Double or Nothing. I'll be live with Jesse tonight on Off the Script. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And please hit that thumbs up and let me know what you guys thought of today's news on Off the Script. I'll see you guys live tonight for Dynamite right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.